This video is all about different ways of saying, please sit down. Now, if you've learned German in the context of a classroom, then this phrase or one of these phrases might be very familiar to you, but perhaps you've never thought about how these sentences are constructed, how they work. Let's have a look at all of them. Bitte setzt euch. Bitte setzen Sie sich. Bitte nehmt Platz. Bitte nehmen Sie Platz. All of them mean exactly the same thing, and that is please sit down. But there are differences. Before we get to the differences, what do they have in common? Well, each of them has a verb, setzt, setzen, nehmt, nehmen, which is in what we call the imperative mood. That means that all of them are a command. They're in the command form. It's when you're giving an instruction to someone, when you want somebody else to do something. And if we take these sentences in two pairs, then notice that the first pair in each of them has a T at the end of the verb, setzt and nehmt, and that reflects the second person plural imperative. That means when you're talking to a group of people, that's ihr, you guys, in the nominative when they're in control of the sentence, or euch when it's an object. And in fact, we see euch here, seat yourselves. And that's because it's a funny thing about the word setzen, we see it in both of these cases. You need to have an object. You simply need an object, whether it's yourself or someone else. So you can't use that. So you can't use that verb by itself. You need to actually have a person with it, even if it's yourself. I seat myself. In the second example, bitte setzen Sie sich. Notice that we've got this sich here. So this time it's not seat yourselves, it's seat yourself, but it's yourself in the formal sense, you formal. It could be singular or plural. We actually don't know. It's more likely to be plural, I guess, because this is often a classroom instruction. So the verb setzen or sich setzen means essentially to seat oneself, to sit down. And then we've got this second verb here, and that's Platz nehmen. We might say take a seat or grab a seat, although the German is literally take place, take space. So they're the two different verbs that we could use. One final thing to notice is the presence of Sie in the second of each of the pairs. And there are three imperative forms in German, the Du form, the Ihr form, and the Sie form. When you use the Sie form, you need to actually use the pronoun Sie. You need to say, you take a seat, not just take a seat, which seems to add to the politeness factor.